What's up everyone? In today's video I'm going to do something pretty exciting. As you've seen from the title, I'm going to make my own all-in-one supplement mixture. So I went online and searched for cheaper options because other options are way too expensive for me, such as $80 each month for example. But I was just thinking I can do that myself. So I went online looking for other options, different mixes, and just combining them into my own mixture. And in addition, I'm going to check if this mixture has any health benefits for me by comparing my blood results before and after taking it. Make sure to watch till the end because I did a lot of stuff going to many different aspects, and also something happened that was pretty unexpected. Let's get into it. This is a mixture I'm going to make. I found this online on a certain website, bulk.com, and this is basically a mixture of different mixtures, resulting in one mix that contains a lot of the stuff that Athletic Greens also contains and even more. So there's one multivitamin complex containing minerals, vitamins and beneficial compounds. Then there is a complete greens mixture which contains 8 different vegetables or algae. And then separately I also got resveratrol, which is an anti-aging compound, and an omega-3 6-9 supplement. All the compounds that are highlighted in green are compounds that are in my mixture but not in the Athletic Greens ones, while the red ones here are in the Athletic Greens ones but not in mine. With the main one being the mushroom powders, because well yeah, I just decided to not include it, but still you can easily switch resveratrol for example with this for the same price, because resveratrol is quite expensive. Alright, then I think it's time to buy the different compounds and make the mix. And by the way, here you can see the price per serving, which is about $1. Which is 3 times as cheap as Athletic Greens. Alright, so these are my blood results before taking the supplement mix. I took this on the 25th of November 2022. This is just some immunology stuff, all fine. I don't have an infection basically. And this is the first major thing. I have a deficiency of folic acid, which is vitamin B9. I have 2.7 micrograms per liter blood, and you should have more than 3.9. That's the first thing. I'm really curious if the supplement mix, which does contain folic acid, will improve. Although I know of some studies on folic acid supplementation, and in some cases it can take like 6 months before your folic acid blood levels reach sufficient value. Then the next thing, selenium, zinc, magnesium, calcium, all was fine to begin with. Cholesterol is also fine, but here my low density lipoprotein is 100, which is not too much, but still it would be better if it's less. Like if you have a high risk of cardiovascular disease, you should aim for less than 70 or even less than 55, for example. And then I had one more deficiency, not for vitamin A or C, but vitamin D. This winter, so not a lot of sun, and I don't seem to get enough from my food, because I have 18.3 nanograms per milliliter, and you should at least have 20. So I'm very curious to see if the shake will resolve any of these issues. So now it's time to make my mix, because tomorrow I can start, and then in 1 month I will take my blood again and we'll see if there's any difference, right? I have here a small plastic container and I'm going to make a 3-month mix. I already calculated the amount of each ingredient I have to put in, so the balance is correct. There I have my screen with the amounts. Let's start with the biggest one, which is the complete greens, of course, which needs 9 grams per serving, so per day. I have to add a total of 810 grams for 3 months. Let's hope this is big enough. The complete greens will supply the taste, peach mango. Alright, and now the multivitamin complex, which also contains a lot of additional stuff, which you saw in the ingredients list, and also one probiotic. Quick side note on the probiotic. The multivitamin should contain 150 million colony-forming units per portion of 3 grams of Lactobacillus acidophilus, which is one of the first bacteria proven to promote human health through the gut. To test their claim of 150 million CFUs, I took a sample of the powder to the lab, made a dilution series, and plated the different solutions out on MRS agar, which is a specific media these lactobacilli should grow well on. Because of the precisely calculated dilution series, I know exactly how many colonies of these bacteria I expect to see on the plates when I allow them to grow. On the non-diluted plate, I for example expect 10 million colonies, which of course won't be countable. But on the most diluted plate, I only expect 10. And based on the amount of colonies on each of the plates, I can precisely calculate what the actual concentration of bacteria is inside the powder. I allowed the bacteria to grow and form colonies over 2 days in an incubator at 37 degrees Celsius. Weirdly, not a single colony was detected after 2 days. Only this cool looking fungus grew on one of the plates. Thus, this means that the company's claim of 150 million CFUs per portion is not valid and the powder doesn't contain any viable lactobacilli. Or it could also be possible that the bacteria were unable to grow on the MRS plates for some reason. Thanks to the University of Antwerp for making this possible, and check their amazing lab out via the link in the description. 270, so that's also in this one. Then the resveratrol, I need 9 grams. Alright, that was it. Now of course the issue is that this has to be mixed perfectly, otherwise each serving would be different. So let's do it. Yeah, see, now it's just green, and don't know if this is like the perfectly mixed version or in the middle there's like a white ball of multivitamins. Yeah, it kind of stays like this, but it's not completely mixed. I'm just getting a bigger container. Alright, I got another one. I can pour part of it in this one. Looks like athletic greens, doesn't it? Yeah, basically the same, right? Now that I have the mix, the final thing I'm doing is adding the label. As you can see, I'm even having my own label. Very accurate and specifically for me, because it has the daily reference intake for a male of my age. So I made it myself, obviously. And would you look at this? My own 3-month supply of a supplement mix, very similar to Athletic Greens, but 3 times cheaper and a lot more control. I can add stuff, I can remove stuff. Alright, the next day, the first time I'm trying the mix. So if I do something like this, should be 3 grams. Yeah. So I need 4 scoops of this size. Alrighty. Oh yeah, this is good. Yeah, it's like a unique taste, but it's not bad at all actually. So yeah, let's drink this each day for the coming 30 days. And see the effect on my blood values. Alright guys, bad news. I think there's something in the shake I'm very allergic to. Because as you can see, these spots appeared a few days ago. Here, and it's literally on my whole body. Here as well, you can see it on my back, on my legs. And it's itchy as hell. I know what it is. It's a very common effect of eating something you're allergic to. The first time these spots appeared were like 3 days ago, about 2 weeks into taking the shake. That time I've developed an allergic reaction to some compound in the shake. I stopped taking the shake like for the 3 days. The spots disappeared. Today I retook the shake this morning and now I completely covered again in itchy red spots. Look here, it's extremely itchy. I think I have to stop the experiment. What I'll do for you is, and for myself, I want to know which compound of the three mixtures I'm allergic to. I won't know the compound, but in that way I can already narrow it down. I'm gonna test it with myself with like a skin puncture test. It's a pretty common test to check if you're allergic or not. Just apply the liquid to your skin and make a small hole so there's connection with the blood. And if there's any inflammation, then you know you're allergic to it. If there's not, you're not. I'm going to check if I'm allergic to any of these three powders, because I think I am allergic to one of the compounds in one of these three mixes because of the obvious allergic reaction. However, I'm not 100% sure yet. It's because of the shake. Would have been a coincidence. To check if I'm allergic or not, I'm going to do a classical skin puncture test. I first have to make 3 liquids of the powder. I have a glass petri dish here. Yeah, because of another video, I've literally collected a whole lab of my own, which has cost me a lot of money. But you'll see that in the near future. For what precisely? It's 1 droplet, 2, 3, and then actually as a negative control / reference, I'm also going to apply just the water. Alright, make sure I'm not cross-infecting powders. To disinfect my arm. This needle. I don't want to do it in my freaking vein. D from the green, M from multivitamin maybe. Then the transferatol and the negative control. And now, the thing that's left to do is puncture some little holes. And now I just have to wait. And as you can see, it doesn't seem to work, or I'm not allergic, because this is a negative control. And well, these are less. But I'm going to do it again, a little differently now. Now I'm just taking the needle. This is more how they also do it in the hospital. I'm just applying a little bit of the stuff here. Just a tiny amount. And I'm going to put it under the skin like this. Alright, again 15 minutes have passed, and as you can see, no allergic reaction. Negative control and the other ones. So maybe indeed I wasn't allergic and it was a coincidence after all. Now I'm going to figure it out with another strategy, the hard way. Just try these again, but separately, and see if I have any of these awful itchy reactions. I'm going to start with this one. I think the multivitamin has the highest chance of me being allergic to it, because it has over 30 active compounds, each of which could cause the allergic reaction, while, well, the resveratrol I don't think I'm allergic to. Literally also no reaction here. And the complete greens are just like 8 vegetables, basically, like broccoli and some other stuff I already know I'm not allergic to. But still, like chlorella, spirulina, might be allergic to it, so I don't know. I hope it's this one, because I would prefer taking this one for another week for my blood, because I think this one has more effect than the greens. But yeah, let's start with this one. If I would have an allergic reaction, I always have these antihistamines, cetirizine, which really resolve the itchiness, which is nice. Also, I made sure I didn't take any of those antihistamines, like 2 days ago was the last time, so they wouldn't have any effect on this skin puncture test. But yeah, still, according to this, I'm not allergic. Yeah, maybe the concentration is not high of the specific compound I'm allergic to, or maybe in the little puncture, the specific compound was just not in it. As a coincidence, also possible. But yeah, let's figure it out the hard way. This one, as you can see, unflavored. It's the next day and very good news. I'm not allergic to the multivitamin complex because, well, nothing happened. So I think it's because of the complete greens. But I really want to be sure, because otherwise I might just waste the whole mix for nothing. So I'm going to check if I'm allergic to this by just taking this another time. But not today, because tomorrow I have an important presentation and I don't want to have red hives in my face or neck. Let's now check if I'm allergic to the complete greens mixture. Alright, nothing happened after taking the complete greens. So apparently the skin puncture test was right. And I'm not allergic to the shake, so I'm just going to proceed. And it was a coincidence after all. So I'm going to proceed taking it for 2 weeks. Today it's exactly 1 month ago that I took the blood test, the first one. But I skipped at least a week of not taking the supplement. So I'm going to proceed for 2 weeks and then I'm going to do the second blood test. Hopefully I'm not allergic to the combination of the substances. Unlikely, but maybe possible. Alright, 1.5 months have passed of taking the supplement, and it's time to check the blood results. But first, some important points to consider. This wasn't a scientific experiment at all, it was just for fun because, well, since n equals to 1, I'm just one person, I will never be able to really conclude what caused a change in my blood results. For example, it could still be because of my diet, because of exercise, because something random in the air, I don't know. Anything besides the supplement can also impact my blood results. That's why you need several subjects to be able to statistically interpret any kind of information. But still, this was pretty fun, and I did make sure to not change my diet at all. I didn't exercise more, but still there are variations, of course. Alright, let's get straight into it. On the left, these are my first results, and on the right, my second ones. So, as you can see here, folic acid from 2.7, which is a deficiency, all the way up to 8.5. I think I can assign this change to the supplement mix because folic acid supplementation is known to increase blood levels of folic acid as long as it becomes bioavailable and is thus supplied in a bioaccessible form. And in my case, it seems that the supplement does provide this. So that's awesome. And then for iron here, a slight increase to 118, and for vitamin B12 also a slight increase, but important still within non-toxic levels. Then we go to some minerals. Calcium basically stayed the same, magnesium as well. However, phosphorus did increase and now it's a little bit too much. I'm not sure if this is because of the supplement or not. Might be, although there's no separate phosphorus supplementation in my supplement mix. In the one of Athletic Greens, they do add separate phosphorus. So I think it's good that my mix didn't contain an extra phosphorus supplementation, because probably the plant compounds and like the broccoli powder and stuff also contains lots of phosphorus. And then we go to the cholesterol levels. Basically stayed the same, but my HDL, the good cholesterol, did increase, which is good, and the LDL didn't really change. The supplementation and LDL levels, there are some plant bioactive which are correlated with lower LDL levels, but in my case, for 1.5 months of supplementation with my mixture, it didn't really seem to impact my levels. And then finally, my vitamins. My vitamin A and C had a slight increase, still within the non-toxic levels, which is important. And also vitamin D moved in the insufficient zone, not longer deficient. Optimally, it would be above 30, but it seems to already go in the right direction. And then in addition, because of my allergic reaction, I did some allergy tests, and indeed I contain an increased level of IgE, which is immunoglobulin E or antibody E, which is basically the doomed antibody responsible for any allergic reaction. And I know it's not from gluten or milk. So whatever it was, could have been something from my food, something in the air, something I wear, I don't know. Could be anything. Just any antigens my dendritic cells have processed, presented to my TMB cells, with the B cells producing damn IgE antibodies in response, which then move through the body, activating basophils and mast cells, which then produce histamines, which cause the local inflammation anywhere. Sorry, went a bit too far there, but yeah. That's how an allergic reaction occurs. I have some plans for the future to make this project a little bit better. The main thing, doing a comprehensive literature study. For example, I now know that I should probably exclude the trans resveratrol from the supplement mix because there is some controversy on its efficacy and that there might even be some neurotoxic effects of the molecule. And also, almost any supplement you see online is not based on scientific evidence at all, let alone looking at the interactions between supplements in something like this, which contains like 300 different compounds. We're basically experimenting on ourselves by doing something like this. So in the next step, I would like to make a very specific supplement mix by first doing a comprehensive literature study and only including compounds that are proven to have some beneficial effects on humans. If you would like to see me making and testing that supplement, give a thumbs up and consider subscribing not to miss it. But for now, I'm going to finish this one, but I'm only going to take it every other day to reduce the chances of toxic effects, because yes, taking too much of certain vitamins or bioactives can become toxic, with vitamin A for example as a well-known example. But thanks for watching and I see you next time.